remember the last time I've held a microphone like this. I used to do like hip hop, so I feel like I should be up here being like, yo, yo, and then kick off a verse or something, but I'm gonna try not to hold the chord like this. So I was actually concerned about getting here on time. I live up in Duluth, Minnesota. Although I've lived down in the cities, I quickly forgot that actually going from St. Paul to Minneapolis is not the same as going from Lakeside to West Duluth. So I do have to say though that this community is awesome, and to see the turnout here, people that are all very devoted into search is really cool up in Duluth. As you can imagine, there's a very small community. Patrick Garmo, can I get an amen? So I guess this is the thing that I need to hold in my hand to get going, but we're going to talk about video strategy and launching a holistic campaign. And Noah and Carrie, thank you so much for laying the groundwork, really a tactical approach to optimization and paid search ads. But if you haven't been to Aim Clear blog, I'd invite you to do so. There's a lot of great content on there. There's a lot of what I'll be talking about contained in the blog there. So here's just a glimpse of the office up in Duluth. We do have an office down here in St. Paul that we just moved into in Mears Park area. So I usually do this, it's usually good because in like, when I'm out in San Jose or something, and I could say, yeah, so I live in lovely, for 3 months out of the year, Duluth, Minnesota, but you guys all know what that's about, so this doesn't really resonate. This is how we all feel. But let's jump right in. So what we're talking about is content. Content is the tie that binds us, and it really stems from a need that we all share. It's the center of everything, and literally brands will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to ensure that they have an editorial calendar that's pumping out content on a regular schedule. So a strategy like this really warrants two questions that we have to ask ourselves. And of course, those two questions are, who is your daddy and what does he do? Now, as much as I wish those were the questions, they are not. It is, who is your audience and why do they care? And so, as I was putting this together over the past month, I was thinking to myself, who in my life has done this for me? You know, who has like taken the time to think about their audience and say, how do I relate to them? And I thought back to my 8th grade class, and Mrs. Lass always stood out to me in that I didn't really care about math. I didn't really like it. I wasn't necessarily bad at it, but I just didn't find it that fun. And I thought about what Mrs. Lass did for me, and she was engaging. She engaged me and engaged the whole class in a way that made it fun. And she herself was funny. She was relatable outside of being older than we were. She made sure that she could relate to us as a class, and she was accessible in the class and outside of the class. And she was informative. Of course she was informative. If she wasn't informative, she wouldn't be doing her job. But she did, so awesome. Then I think about my job back in 8th grade, and there really was only 2 jobs that I had. And that was be cool, which I failed at miserably, and then there was learn. And I thought about it, and I was like, Mrs. Lass did something for me. And what she did was she made my job easier to actually learn math. And so I think about what we can do with content, and if we're able to make our viewers' job easier, then we can really succeed at video. Content, no matter what form it is, needs to demystify, it needs to serve, and it needs to remove barriers for our audience. So we also need to think about what are our goals. If you're a Breaking Bad fan, you could relate to this in that Walt really lost sight of his goals. If he had clear set KPIs, he would have stopped after a certain point, right? But he didn't. He lost sight of those goals. And we need to understand what we're measuring, because we can easily set up proxies for success, but unless we clearly define them, unless we clearly define them and they're known to the whole team, then we can't really determine what success is. So, is it views? Are we going after branding views? Are we after subscribers? If we have a subscriber, does that mean that the lifetime value is higher for these individuals? We really need to figure out what the success metric is, because even with video, I can tell you that we can sell products. Some of us will need to market video with the ABCs, always be closing. We need to market like our boss is holding a contest where first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado, second prize is a set of steak knives, and third prize is you're fired. Little Glenn Ross for you. Content needs to convert, period, sometimes, and it can be done with video. We just need to guide these users towards the KPI funnel in an attributable way, where we can track the advancement of our customers through that funnel. So we need to take this strategic approach. What's the purpose? How does it fit with our other marketing objectives? And what are the primary KPIs and goals? So how do you win with video? Well, you need great content. You need to target your audience. You need a connected user base. And then you have to optimize for discoverability. And you need a budget to seed engagement. Right, so let's go back to the first one. Great content. Yeah, well, no shit. You need great content. It's easier said than done, right? But have you ever wondered, a great story, have you ever noticed how it really can transcend the medium used to tell it, given you have a good storyteller? And on the other side of the coin, a crappy story, well, let's put it this way, you can wrap a turd up in a bow, but guaranteed the person that you give it to is going to end that relationship real fast. You don't always have to, the meaning of this is you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. So you can look at what you have that has already been published, that you have around blog posts, journal articles, infographics. This example here is actually one of the companies that we work with sells learning language products. And they had this awesome infographic, and from the analytics it was clear that this is something that was successful. It's a story that we should try and tell in another medium. And so we actually made a video infographic out of it. And after 215,000 views later, we had success there. What we deemed success. This wasn't actually the product page or what sold the videos, but ultimately, if you looked at the related videos, our product videos were there, and we do actually push those product videos with YouTube ads to sell those products. So this was something that fed into that funnel. It was the top of the funnel driving those viewers deeper and deeper into the funnel so they could view our things. Now, if you're in B2B, I just want to say B2B can be sexy too. We have examples like that as well. You have to share the story that only your business can tell. So we work with a company that, on the face of it, the products are not sexy at all. But if you look back to the beginning, the origins of the company, they played a major role in World War II. So they were trying, as the military was trying to get fuel to the front lines, to the troops, they needed a way to do that. And this company actually facilitated that. They created a product that was able to connect pipes in a way that was very quick and get the gas to the front lines. So to be able to tell that story is an awesome thing, and they were able to do that, interview some of the people that were in World War II and actually worked with the company then. Take a look at the mission statement, revisit why your company is awesome, and just remember, who's awesome? You're awesome. Remain inspired, for creativity begets creativity. And your obligation to the viewer is to entertain, engage, inform, and empower. And so, ladies, and gentlemen, it's not the length that matters. It's the percentage of viewers who stay till the very end, from start to finish, right? Because not only is that something that that you as a marketer can deem as you were successful, it's also a signal to YouTube as to how good your video is, and it is a ranking factor. So keep that in mind. The next piece, target audience and connected users. So you want to identify your audience, observe and engage. So keep this in mind, because success will be determined by the research and relationships you build before you actually publish the content and ask somebody to watch it. So you have to go find your audience in the blogs, the forums, and other social communities that they hang out in, make friends with them, and give, and then you ask, and then you publish, and then people will champion your content. If you haven't already looked at this competitive intelligence, or this little like get more data icon on any public video, sometimes marketers will disable this, but this can give you a good idea of how competitors have gotten the views that they've gotten. It shows you obviously the number of views, but also how long it's been up, subscriptions that it's driven. It gives you a kind of an idea of what you're going to need in order to rank for the key terms that this video is ranking for. So just kind of a good thing to keep an eye on. So long term, you want to devote time to building relationships before publishing your content. Sometimes you got to hang out with somebody and learn who they are before you can make out with them. That's basically what it stems down to. So mining comments, there's different ways to do this. So you can do a search for a keyword that you would want to rank for. Find a video that is ranking high, go in there and look at the comments and say, okay, these people that are commenting here are obviously all people that are interested in this topic. There's an easier way to do it though, and you can do this in large batches if you use Google search operators to find these comment threads. If you do the site colon like Noah was talking about, if you do youtube.com/all_comments, and then do some sort of like qualifier, like if you're looking for nurses or something, you could say, I'm a nurse. And then you want the video to be about nursing, all you have to do is put entitled:nursing. And then you'll be given a result of all the comments that happen on nursing videos where people say that they are a nurse. You could also, if you're using something like an object-based scraper like Mozenda, you could actually create a feed off of this so that you are pinged every time that something new comes up in the search result, which would be really powerful. So the organic rollout checklist, submit your blogs for write-ups. It's all the same stuff that you know. Seed with connected user base, make sure you have those relationships. Share in social, share with your mom, share with your dad, share with your cousins and all your friends, and then embed it on your site and on your blog. And then the last thing I'll say about seeding engagement, of course, YouTube is very powerful, and I will say, I think I have a slide in the next two slides. You would be remiss not to test YouTube TrueView ads for engagement and for views, because they are cost effective, and a lot of times you can sell products through them. But there are other channels that you can get views and engagement. StumbleUpon is really effective in driving views, but keep in mind that all of these channels and all of the ad units, even within YouTube, are different. So if you're trying to drive direct response, if you're trying to drive sales, you don't want to use maybe an in-stream ad as opposed to an in-search ad where somebody is showing intent. You're going to use the ad that fits for the job. So again, it would be remiss not to test YouTube ads as a viable channel. And with that, I say a thank you. Thanks.